Why are the Washington Nationals getting no love? I've seen way too many things like, oh, the ALCS was the real World Series and the Nationals are going to lose easily to the Astros. That makes no sense to me. I mean, look, the Astros are probably the best team in baseball. I understand that. But look, it is baseball. Anything could happen. And for some reason, we're already crowning the Houston Astros as World Series champions. I know we haven't seen the Nationals play in like a week. It's been a while, so we probably forgot about them. But look, this is still a very, very good team. They just swept the team in the NLCS. I don't understand why people already have this foregone conclusion that the Astros will be World Series champions. Look, I know they're favored. I know it's probably the most likely outcome, but why are we already just giving up on the Nationals when the series hasn't even started yet? So, in this video, I'm going to go over why I think the Nationals have a shot to win this World Series and why them winning the whole thing really isn't that far-fetched. So, of course, it feels like 2 months ago, but the wild card game, they were down like 3-1, 4-1 in the 8th inning. They had that great comeback. The right fielder made a terrible play on the ball. Juan Soto had the go-ahead hit. Really great game. I mean, the Nationals probably could have lost that game easily, but still, they came back, they won it, it's all that matters. And the momentum's been shifting upward for them ever since then. I mean, look, they faced the Dodgers. They were down 2-1, but, they came back and beat them in a 5-game series. And the Dodgers, I mean, we probably forget because they choke so much in the playoffs, are very, very, very good. Their roster is stacked everywhere. I mean, they have depth on top of depth. I mean, if a guy gets hurt, like if Corey Seager goes down, oh, let's just call up Galvin Lux, one of the best prospects in baseball. He'll fill in for him. And then, one of their pitchers gets hurt, like Ryu or Rich Hill. Let's just bring up Dustin May, who's a great prospect, or just replace him with Ross Stripling or Julio Urias. They have a bunch of guys everywhere. I mean, the Dodgers bullpen was definitely their downfall, but that team overall is a very good team, and they still beat them in a 5-game series. Then you go to the NLCS, they beat the Cardinals. And look, the Cardinals aren't the best team in baseball, maybe not even the top 5 team in baseball, but still, they beat Jack Flaherty, who was arguably the best pitcher in the second half of the season. They beat Dakota Hudson, who was a great pitcher this year. Adam Wainwright, who's been around forever and has a bunch of postseason experience. They have great hitters like Marcell Ozuna, Tommy Edman, Paul Goldschmidt, Matt Carpenter, Paul DeYoung, Yadier Molina, the list goes on and on. They have a good team, and they swept them pretty easily, I may add. So, the pitching's been on fire for the Nationals. They won the NL pretty, I wouldn't say easily, but they took care of the Cardinals very easily. They had a great comeback against the Dodgers, and they had a great comeback in the World Series, or the wild card, I should say, against the Milwaukee Brewers. So this team has all the momentum right now, and they have a very good roster. I understand the Astros are better, but they have a very good roster, and as I said, it's baseball. Anything can happen. When you look at the Nationals roster, in my opinion, it's a great mixture of young guys and then veterans, and it's just they have a bunch of talent as well, which is obviously the most important thing. Of course, it starts with their starting pitching. They have Max Scherzer, who's been around for a long time now. He's, been a Cy Young. He's an awesome pitcher, top 3 pitcher in baseball. Steven Strasburg, who's been obviously one of the better postseason pitchers in baseball when he pitches in the postseason. I don't have the numbers on top of my head, but his postseason numbers are ridiculous. They have Patrick Corbin, who they just brought over from Arizona. He's had a great year. I mean, he was on my fantasy baseball team. I kept close tabs on him the whole year. He had some rough starts in the beginning of the year, but for the most part, he's been very good lately, and they have to trust him. They have Anibal Sanchez, who I tweeted about a while ago. He was a great story. He looked like, when he was in the end of his Tigers career, it looked like his career was going to be over. It looked like he had nothing left to offer. Then I think he came back with Atlanta last year, signed with the Nationals this year, and put together a very nice season. I had a near no-hitter in the NLCS as well, so he's had a really nice comeback, and those are your 4 starters right there. 3 guys that I really, really trust. The top 2 guys, Scherzer and Strasburg, I very much trust those guys. Not so much with Patrick Corbin, but still, he's a borderline ace in my mind, Patrick Corbin. He's not a top 10 pitcher, but he's borderline. Anibal Sanchez, I mean, look, it's hard to trust a guy like that who's bounced around at this point in his career, but still, he's been great for them lately, and they're probably going to trust him as well to at least start one game in the series. So, you always have a chance with that kind of rotation. That's the number one thing. They have some very good hitters as well. Anthony Rendon might be the best all-around hitter in this series. I know Jose Altuve, you can make the argument, even Michael Brantley. But a guy like Rendon does not strike out too much. He never, he just never does things that he can't do. He always stays within himself, and he's just a great pure hitter. I think he might be the best hitter in this series. You can make the argument. They have Trey Turner, who's one of the best table setters and leadoff men in baseball. He's more than just a speedster. He's a good hitter. I mean, I've owned him in fantasy baseball as well, so I've kept close tabs on him. He's a really good player. And they have guys that know what it takes to win big games. I mean, Ryan Zimmerman has been there since 2005. He's lived through two 100-plus loss seasons as a Washington National. He's been through it all. Adam Eaton's been around for a while. Asdrubal Cabrera's been around for a while. Brian Dozier's been around for a while. Gerardo Parra, Howie Kendrick, who's having an awesome postseason, just won the NLCS MVP. He's 11 for 38 with 1 home run and 9 RBIs. Had a big grand slam in that Dodgers game as well, in Game 5, I believe. They have veteran catchers that can handle the staff. They have Kurt Suzuki, who's been around for a while. They have Yan Gomes, who's been around for a while. Suzuki's been around since 2007, has been on many teams, and Yan Gomes since 2012, who has many postseason experience with the Indians. So there's another guy right there, 2 guys that are really good catchers in this series for the Nationals. That'll definitely help. You can't forget about the 20-year-old phenom, Juan Soto, who does turn 21 in a few days, so maybe his first legal drink will be in the World Series win. That'd be pretty cool. So he's a great player, obviously, one of the up-and-coming stars in baseball. Part of the reason they let Bryce Harper walk, and it really didn't hurt them too much. I mean, they had a guy in Juan Soto who you could argue maybe is going to be better than Bryce Harper. There's a very good chance it could happen, honestly, and definitely less injury-prone as well. So they have him, of course. They have young outfielders like Victor Robles, and then they have Michael A. Taylor, who's not as young, but still very good players. I mean, Robles had a really nice year. I think this was his rookie year, technically. He had a nice year at some points, and he's made some nice plays in the playoffs as well. Michael Taylor's a guy I've always kept an eye on. I kind of like him as a player. A little inconsistent, but still, he's a nice player overall. And, it's not ridiculous to say that the Nationals are going to win this series. It just makes no sense to me. I understand the Astros are a better team. They're favored to win, all that kind of stuff. But just to say that they have no shot to win it makes no sense to me. I've seen too many things, whether it's articles or just people on Twitter saying, oh, the Astros are going to win the World Series easily. I don't know about that. Give the Nationals some more credit. I think if I had to guess, I would still say the Astros win this in like 6 games, but it's going to be a very hard-fought 6 games. I don't think the Nationals are going to get swept or anything like that. That seems a little far-fetched in my mind. So they'll give them a good fight. And I do think the Nationals do have a chance. If a few things go their way, they get a few lucky breaks, I think they could win this World Series, which would be awesome. I hope they win, obviously, because the Astros just beat my Yankees, so kind of hope that happens. So I'll be rooting for them, and I hope they do well. First game is tonight. They have Max Scherzer against Garrett Cole in Houston. That should be very fun. Just an awesome pitching matchup. I'm a big fan of like pitching duels, and stuff like that. So I'll enjoy that game, hopefully, and hopefully it's a close and exciting game. So that's it for this video. Give the Nationals a chance. Not saying they're going to win the World Series, but they do have more of a chance than people are making it sound like. So I'll talk to you guys next time.